One tribe, a reminder of a place once lived, where real equality and community existed, free from judgment, free from the system of fear and control, a place where connection can lead to possibilities, and a space where creativity has no restrictions, a path through the unknown, not knowing where one's going to end up, but having the faith of knowing things are going to work out. A realization that the ocean is a thread that connects all the lands and all the tribes of people. A feeling of being connected to something greater than one's own singular life. A greater realization that no man is an island. Instead, a critical piece that makes up this collective consciousness. A part of time where the past, present and future coexist. A place of magic where thoughts become things. A greater understanding that by living in harmony with nature, one gains a healthy mind, body and spirit. A universal space where energy, frequency and vibration merge into one. And a great knowing that together as one, we can make a difference. Welcome to One Tribe.
Yeah, well, the thing is with the substance, so we have pain, and I guess when you experience loss or something like that, or trauma, that pain, that may have just been like a little seed inside you, all of a sudden is just open. That there's no security left in you, and when you have no security left in you, you don't operate. You can't be rational, and yeah, sure, but then you do act irrational because why do people do drugs, for example? Why do people do drugs? It's to alleviate the pain, right? And that's the most obvious one. But the drugs do have another secondary effect as well, which is quite often it creates a personality that you actually want, but someone who's positive and outgoing or who is friendly and that sort of stuff. So you're also trying to not just cure pain, but you're also trying to fix something about yourself that you think that someone that you want to be. Maybe that's what makes people do the drugs even more, you know what I mean? And so yeah, going back to experiencing like heavy loss or something like that. When you're grieving, you don't really want to be positive. You don't feel positive, but you want to fit in society. So drugs become an easy option for people, and if you're not, and you're in that sort of wrong mindset, you haven't got the secure mindset that you sort of need to think rationally. It's a dangerous place to be.
I think once we accept that we are all the monster, we are all the mystic, and we are all the healer, we have the choice of who we want to be in this world. And I believe knowing that gives you a certain level of freedom. That light and darkness exists in all of us. It's just certain substances, can magnify this darkness in people by 1,000 times. That's why I believe more compassion is needed within the community for people who are struggling with mental health problems. Yeah, I do believe that people are doing their best with the level of consciousness that they have at that particular time, or the level of awareness that they have. They might be extremely unconscious because of the lifestyle that they live, but they're really trying their best at that particular moment with the information that they have and the wisdom that they have. So if they're more conscious at a particular moment, they're going to make better decisions. But if they're not as conscious, then the decisions are going to be clouded and they're going to make the mistakes, Then maybe someone says that they could do better. I could do better myself. I could be more kind. I could be more loving. I could be more compassionate. I could be more forgiving. So yeah, it's important to look at yourself, but look at yourself with kindness as well and compassion. And realizing that self-development is a lifelong journey of making mistakes and learning.
The darkness will always yield to purify light, and that's always stuck with me. And that's the thing, that's why I find it so important to dive into the darkness, because with greater darkness there's also greater light. There's that Jungian line, it's something that for the trees to reach into the heavens, their roots also have to go into hell. And these are principles that I sort of live by when I'm particularly writing music or playing music. Sometimes it goes into areas where I don't want to go into, I don't want to play it, but you got to do it. You got to do it. Yeah. I mean, I don't necessarily write happy songs per se, but there is joy in the songs I'm writing. Some of my friends or people hear my stuff think it's really like morbid and doom and gloom, but I don't think it is in my mind. I think I'm telling stories, and there's stories that are revolved around like tragedy, or there's songs that are just around simple daily life stuff. But joy is the main thing, because if a song's sad, for example, you actually get joy out of releasing and understanding and bringing that sadness into the light, rather than having it. I don't know, music's just a tool for bringing that stuff into light, and that brings feelings of all sorts. How do you create harmony? I was talking to my friend last night about this, about songwriting, and we're talking about how people write songs differently. And for me, I've discovered more and more that really, when I'm writing a song, I'll play the same thing, over and over again for years, months, years, weeks. And generally, what I've found is it's like a fight. You're wrestling with something, and you're trying to get something out of it. And eventually, you get to a point where you're satisfied, and I probably call that harmony.
You've dulled your mind, my friend, who's looking for some place to find, to calm the tide, to calm the tide, my friend, who only wants some peace of mind. You've got to find, you've got to find if there's a way to kill the pain inside. But your heart's inside, your heart's inside. It knows when things aren't beating right. heart beating when you're not breathing? Can you feel your heart beating when you're not breathing? Can you feel your heart beating? It's on and on and on and on and on. My heart, it only goes like this. It's on and on and on and on and on. It's telling me where to go. It's on and on and on and on and on. My heart, it only goes like this. It's on and on and on and on and on. It's telling me where to go. Tell 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 me where to go.
I love surfing, it's great. It's good for my mental health and good for my physical health, you know? Like, I don't know what it is. I'm not sure what it is exactly, but if I don't go surfing at least once, like in a week, it kind of, it's the thread that holds everything together. Like, you know, I've got a busy lifestyle, got 3 young kids, I've got the shop, I work at the hospital, but I need to surf because it's my time. Yeah, it's my time. I've got a great shop. I love it. It's nice turning up every day, and we add to it. You know, it grows, and we add to it, and we get beautiful things come from it. So creative process is important in every aspect of our lives. Started with coffee shop, just the idea, mapped out, thought like a bit of a maths man, mapped out some figures. In the end of the day, didn't make it, like, it didn't really matter, but like still sat down and did it. Yeah, had an image in my mind, tried to emulate that image, but you know, like elements from friends who did woodwork came into it, and like the building itself came into it, and then like the coffee guys came into it, and so everyone's added like extra stuff, and then it's almost what I pictured it, like what I pictured it to be, but we've still got a lot of work in the backyard to do before the next summer comes. But I want it to be like really inviting, and I want to have that social element. It's not just about a cup of coffee, it's about coming and enjoying the space and relaxing and telling your story and feel comfortable to do that. Like, I grew up in Melbourne North, so I'm not actually, I never like to live here, but the local is, for me, is a place where everyone can just come to. And it's nice, like you hear people on their phones, we're like, obviously people calling, where are you? Oh, I'm at the local, come down. It's like, yeah, it's nice. I think it's just, a lot of things can become overwhelming in life, paying your bills, earning money. You got to have that element to keep you sane, I think. So you create to keep yourself sane, and because you can, you know. I don't know, we have a good opportunity here in Australia to be able to have, you know, have the time to create and have people behind us to help us create, I think. Yeah, well, that's cool. Everything you do is a reflection of yourself, I think, and we've created this cafe from scratch, and it's a reflection of us, and it's important to have mates because they help you with your creative process as well. So, you know, like colloquially, it's kind of, it's the pub, you know, but it's not here in this situation, it's the local coffee shop. So yeah, a place of meeting, I reckon. Why coffee? Look, it's been a dream of mine and my wife to have a cafe for a long time, since we first got together, and we just took the plunge after I was made redundant at the power station. So we were in a position where we were able to do that transition, and Look, it was the romance of having a coffee shop was awesome. That's what got us to it. But the reality is really harsh. And you invest a lot of time, you invest a lot of money, and everything could go wrong. But if you don't do it, things can't go right either. So you've got to take that plunge. Oh, and not hesitate. That's the key, hey. So if you're gonna do it, don't hesitate. It's like taking off on that wave. But you want to ride, but you're scared to drop in on it. And so you just got to push, do those extra strokes, get on the wave, and don't hesitate, because that's when you hurt yourself, right?
I chose Swell for my building company name because it actually represents a big part of my life. Swell works on two levels, of course, Swell being positive, but also I'm a surfer, so Swell runs a large part of my life, obviously secondary to my work. However, to function in everyday life, Swell matters a lot to me. Society as a whole can tend to be negative and see the less positive things in people and obviously project them and portray them. Largely because of media and those sorts of things, they tend to portray negativity as a way of, making ratings and things like that, but it filters through and it filters right through into society and it creates a negative sort of outlook. Positivity is a hard thing to attain with outlook in life. So, once you've been around the block a few times, it's easier to see that positivity is a much better way of being. But, in order for us to grow as a people, I think, again, I've said it a lot of times, seeing the positive in things is major. And then more being aware of it in yourself too. Being present in the moment helps a lot like that. You can be present in the moment and think about the positive rather than seeing the negative in the background from somebody that, you might be holding negative from the past and then all you'll see is negative in the future. So, seeing the positive or at least putting the negative aside can really help with that, I believe. One of the big things I think that a lot of people miss about community would be interaction, particularly, good interaction with other people. Again, stopping and slowing down a little bit, being able to appreciate those around you and also appreciate the situation that those around you might be in. That's what a positive community would do, one that takes care of each other and takes each other into consideration. Recognising the value in the community around you is a must, really, because you can't appreciate what you've got and what's here without recognising it and sort of giving it its moment. You don't have to sing it to the skies or anything like that, but just realising it in your own mind will change things. It'll change things from a walk all over the top of each other society maybe to a more positive giving and sharing and caring in nature society. I get a lot of work down on the Venus Bay area, which is pretty close to a few of the breaks I like to surf. So yeah, I'm always in that area and near some of these remote and attractive surf breaks in amongst the bushes. And, it's kind of where the hills meet the sea a little bit down here, and it's more beautiful than anywhere else I've surfed. So I just keep coming back and I'll never leave it. So I grew up the son of a surfer carpenter, so it's probably no surprise that I turned out one of each of those myself. I learnt, obviously, through watching, I learnt surfing at a very young age. I wasn't exactly quick to take it up. I was more enjoying the viewing. However, once I caught the bug, it was set for life. And my father also taught me a lot about carpentry from a very young age. I would work on job sites with him, from my early teens right up until when I decided to go out on my own and get an apprenticeship. The creative visualisation part of building is huge because if you can't visualise the product, it's almost impossible to have a good outcome. A good outcome being high quality, cost efficient, time efficient building. For instance, working for a client You know, they have ideas and they have thoughts, and being able to visualise, creatively visualise their thoughts and their ideas and turn them into a reality is significant in the building industry.